Alright everybody, welcome back. Doing a small follow-up to the previous episode. I guess episode 11 part 2, you could call it. Took me a couple tries to get that combat right. This is the story of my success right here. A couple things that I realized. I need to just focus on magic with Scarlet instead of trying to split her between magic and melee. Get her, this fire spell, I can cast it every turn, and it does a ton more damage than I can do with my weapon. Maybe later I'll get a better weapon, I don't know, we'll see how that works out. But if I do that, I'll have 2 magicians, and 2 melee fighters, or physical fighters. I think that'll be pretty good. Matching her fire with Jahan's, this electricity bolt, number 7 here. It's been working out. And then the other thing I really need to focus on doing is getting Roderick some new moves. Like, Medora's in a good place, right? Got that 2-handed axe that blows up people with fire, high damage. It's great. Roderick's still using the crappy bow I found on the beach in the tutorial, like before the tutorial dungeon. Gotta fix that. That thing does nothing. It's not even worth attacking with it, as you'll see in parts of this video. He has some cool moves. I gotta go look at what the person who sells the air and water spells, gotta go see what they've got. Now that I'm level 4, I've actually unlocked access to those, and I didn't even think about that before. But there's a whole new group of spells that I can use. So I should definitely go check that out, which I will do in the beginning of the next episode. I'll head back to town and see just in what ways that I can improve my guys. Like I was saying before, Medora, she's in a great place. She just slays stuff. Well, in that case the bow worked out, but the guy had like a sliver of health left. That barely counts. Definitely he needs to get more bow, or a better bow, and some additional spells. Maybe, I gotta check out what the marksman, I guess the Fletcher in the town has the marksman abilities. Gotta go check those out. Also check out what the air and water spells are. If he could also cast the lightning every turn like Jahan, I think we would just completely wreck everyone. So, I don't know, that's a thought. That's something to consider. But yeah, basically for her, especially because her weapon is a high level and costs a bunch of action points to use, at this point in time, it's just gonna be better for her to always be using that fire spell. And, well, and sometimes use that oil slick. Jahan is awesome, but I gotta be careful and consider my surroundings. Can't end up like the end of last episode, shooting lightning bolts into my entire team and just allowing the enemy unlimited turns to just slay me before I could even act. That was pretty bad. But this fight goes pretty well. Basically, I think the strategy I used here was just single target everyone down. Like, get everyone to focus on a single guy. Burn him down as hard as you can to try to prevent him from acting. Now, we end up... the boars themselves are pretty easy. They do decent melee damage, but it's hard for them to get up to us. Here, this is the oil that I was talking about. They're close enough to each other that one cast tags them both. And now they have a super hard time being able to even get up to us to do their melee attack. So that takes care of them. So crowd control, in that sense, is a really important thing in this game. I haven't yet really been in too many pulls that were even numbers of enemies. It's almost always been more enemies than allies. So you definitely gotta get some control over the battlefield. Make sure that you're only fighting a small amount of guys at a time, and focus them down. I don't know what else to do with him right now. I guess I'm just shooting random arrows. They're worthless, though. Oh, I just passed this turn. Never mind. Yeah, that's what I also need to be doing with Roderick. Those specialty arrows have much better effects than just a plain arrow. And I didn't really pay any attention to them so far. But They're really worthwhile. I've picked up a ton of them. When the enemy uses them against me, it always hurts a lot. So it's pretty clear that that's the tactic I need to be using against the enemy. Easier said than done, though. Also, I gotta figure out a way to craft those arrowheads up. Or just learn what the crafting recipes are for those specialty arrowheads. Because I got a bunch of arrow shafts and plain arrowheads. I gotta figure out how I gotta combo those together. I tried just comboing the arrowhead and the shaft together and it became an arrow. But it kinda sucked. The tooltip was like, hey idiot, if you just combine normal arrows, you already have infinite normal arrows. What was the point of that? So I gotta make the arrowheads first into some specialty elemental thing. Then combine them, make my arrows, my specialty arrows. Use them up. I looted an explosive arrowhead, or explosive arrow. And that does AoE damage, as well as lighting people on fire, I think. Don't remember if I used it or not. But I need to learn how to make those and just have a handy supply of them, because the bad guys tend to be bunched up at least certain points during the fight, especially if they're melee. They all get pretty close to me. If I can then figure out a way to tag them with an explosive arrow that doesn't hurt my own mans in the process. So yeah, so that's going to be the focus for Roderick. Get him a more damaging bow, and get him some specialty arrows to use. Actually, there's a ton of stuff to do for him. Get him a bunch of abilities too. He's just kind of been neglected, and I've been focused mainly on using these heroes that I've hired on, or the companions who joined me, because they have a bunch of cool moves. And I was lucky enough to get a sweet two-handed weapon from Medora here. I'm gonna try to look into some of the crafting as well, because I have heard some good things about it. If all else fails, at least I'll be able to make a ton of money, because all of the mineral veins in the game are just limitless. You can mine ore for all time out of the same vein. You just keep mining until you're completely weighed down. And you can use that to craft up goods, and you can sell them infinite money. It's time consuming, sure. I'd probably do that off camera if I was going to pursue that. Man, I don't know why I didn't just attack him. He has the tiniest sliver of life there. But that teleport spell is super awesome. I really love how it works as a crowd control. Just pick the guy up, throw him way back out of combat. Can't do anything to you for a round or two while he tries to walk up close to you again. Good stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of being just barely outside of maximum range in this fight, and so I had to do some careful walking so I didn't spend too many AP getting where I needed to go. We're down to just the 2 boars and that one skeleton archer who has the tiniest amount of health left. And I didn't want to waste Jahan's electricity bolts on a tiny amount of health. I figured crappy arrow dude could take care of that. And I could not believe that they didn't kill the boar though, so now I have to worry about that. But it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, that was a terrible mistake. I completely misclicked next to the boar instead of arrowing him. Ran into the fire and got set on fire and did no damage on the rest of that turn. Very bad. Luckily, we make it through. Despite my awful controls. Not good. I'm getting a little bit concerned here because I'm not sure if I'm going to make it, but then I had the epiphany. If I put an oil patch next to that fire, it'll go burn the skeleton. And that worked out pretty well. The electricity is really good to use if you don't cast rain first and make all your guys all wet and subject to getting damaged by the electric. And here I used the charge to charge through the one guy into the other guy. And I still... oh no, I'm out of AP. That's fine. And finally managed to put an end to this combat. Excellent. And then quickly got to get everyone out of the fire. Cool, so this is where I'm at. Catch you next time, guys.